Sarah,
Tell me.
I'm so disappointed.
With what?
We didn't saw any raccoons in the US.
Yes.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
They may go extinct or something.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe they
Yeah.
are rare. Well, it is what it is. I have a specific video for us that maybe cheer me up. 8 wild animals I only encountered after moving to America. And I bet one of those is a raccoon. That's it, Sarah. Say hello to our friends.
Hi, guys.
Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for all the support. We really appreciate that. That's it, Sarah. Ask them for the most important thing.
Guys, leave a like, thumbs up.
And if they subscribe,
You make our day.
damn right. Link below. Let's go.
Until the tour guide just casually pointed at the trees and said, oh, yeah, there's 8 bald eagles. What? What? Actually, that's amazing.
8?
Show me, make them fly. They're not remote controlled. They don't work like that.
Yeah.
It must be impressive to see such a powerful bird flying.
Yeah. The bald eagle is the animal that represents America, you know. And I think they are quite common in America.
Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on
Hi.
a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those pertains to nature, specifically wild animals. It feels like quite a while since I've seen any wild animals, unless you count my cat, who is an animal and is wild. And so because I'm still in quarantine and I crave nature, I thought this would be another good addition to the spring series that I've been doing. We've looked
Okay. In terms of wild animals, for sure America is
They have so many.
They have so many. It's kind of crazy. My friends, in Texas, we saw Amarillo. Not Amarillo. Amarillo is the city. The
Armadillo, exactly, yeah.
Amarillo by morning. I love that song. Sorry. The armadillo. We saw deer. Maybe.
Yeah.
We saw a raccoon dead.
Yeah.
That's it, actually. Those are the, but I mean, still impressive.
the uproarious nature in which both countries have introduced invasive species to one another. We've also looked at how Britain doesn't have anything on America when it comes to domesticated pets. And so I thought it would be interesting, particularly for you Americans, to see kind of how unique some of your wildlife is. Some of the animals on this list, I should say, are endemic, not just to the United States, but North America, sometimes South America. And then you will find sort of instances of some of these dotted around the planet, but none of them cropped up in Britain, with the very possible exception of this.
Raccoon.
Raccoon.
When we were in Texas, we were looking for raccoons everywhere.
Everywhere. My friends, it was impossible to find a raccoon in
Yes,
Texas.
the only one we saw was dead on the road.
Was dead on the road. Are you sure that raccoons are common in the south of America? My friends, if you ever saw a raccoon and you live in the south, whatever, even if you live in the north, how common are raccoons? Leave me a like if you see those almost every week, because I'm curious. You know?
Yes.
I mean, I went to the garbage container on the back of the hotel. Nothing, my friends.
Nothing, yes.
I was so disappointed.
Raccoons. The only real experience I had of them growing up in England was playing.
Well, sorry, but to be fair, we know it's real because we saw one dead
Yes,
in the road.
we
So we saw one, but it was dead already.
Raccoons. The only real experience I had of them growing up in England was playing Super Mario Brothers 3,
wow.
and that doesn't really count. So I was thrilled to bits to discover that they're a real animal, and they definitely exist here in North America. Just leave your bins out for 2 weeks, and then you'll discover them. Although in Britain you don't.
Do you know the word in Portuguese for raccoon?
Guaxin.
Guashing. It's a very weird. Even for us, my friends, it's a weird word. Guashing.
Don't get a choice over that duration. Whenever I hear about raccoons from Americans, right, it's usually in the context of what utter pests they are. You know, going through your trash and stealing your discarded receipts and then assuming your financial information. But aside from all that, they are quite adorable. I mean, to look at, right?
they
They've
look
got
so
huge,
cute.
bushy tails, which is always fun.
They have little
and
fingers.
they're amazing, but it looks like they have been slightly distributed around the world, or at least introduced. And while I did hear that some of them were introduced to Britain, that's got nothing on Germany. Look at this map. It's off the charts. I had no idea that Germans were so acquainted with raccoons. Same with Japan. So that
Okay. Yeah, Japan.
that explains the raccoon suit in Mario 3. Though it doesn't explain why Mario turns into a statue while wearing one. Do raccoons do that in Japan? I have no idea. And that's because I didn't grow up with them or live in Japan. What do you call them?
Groundhog.
Whistle pigs, wood.
Okay, but the thing about raccoon in Japan, I believe they end up importing raccoons
Yes,
there
yeah.
because of anime or something. Is this a true story, my friends? I don't know for sure. But you know that there is people in America that have raccoons as pets.
I believe, yeah, they look
They-
so cute.
No, but they are a bit crazy.
Oh, why?
No, that they have a disease that is very famous. I forgot the name, but some people, I don't know why some people do that because if there is a disease, you know what I mean. But I guess
Do raccoons do that in Japan? I have no idea. And that's because I didn't grow up with them or live in Japan. Whether you
groundhog.
call them whistle pigs, woodchucks, or
What the hell is a groundhog?
groundhogs, it's the same animal, essentially, and they're to be found mostly, when we're talking about America, in the eastern portion of the United States, which probably explains why I've encountered one. I lived in Indiana for about 8 years before moving to Chicago, and especially while I lived in rural Indiana, you saw all manner of wildlife, and one of these was no exception. They love to burrow, don't they? And then
so
they
cute.
emerge from that burrow, usually on February 2nd. They time it to the T. I'm joking. I don't think there's
It's kind of like a rat or something.
Yeah.
any science behind that. But of course, February 2nd in the United States and Canada is Groundhog Day, right? And I'd heard of
they have a
Groundhog Day
day,
only
a
in
specific
the context of
day.
the film with Bill Murray. I didn't know it was an actual thing, which goes back to apparently the Pennsylvania Dutch, who were superstitious, and they said that when the groundhog emerged on February 2nd, if it saw its own shadow, because, you know, the weather was clear, then that would mean that winter would go on. But if it didn't, it meant spring was imminent. This has turned out to also not be scientifically sound, and there's absolutely no evidence that it holds true. But that's not going to stop us in this day and age, is it? Even though we have the internet. In fact, no, especially because we have the internet. Tragically, groundhogs have clearly distributed themselves around the continent.
Okay, see, but here this is not like the raccoon, the groundhog. A lot of Americans, for example, if you live in California or Texas, you never saw a groundhog.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's quite different. Raccoons raccoons. It's basically everywhere, but
To form the shape of a flattened groundhog, perhaps as a warning to motorists.
Skunk. Oh.
So I remember my
If
first
I see a
encounter-
skunk, I run right away because I'm afraid
Not
it's
smell.
spray. No, it's spray on me. Yeah, of the smell.
you think
The smell. Yeah,
Ken's
it's spray.
praise that?
Yeah.
No. I think they are a safe. They stink, but I think they are a safe animal, actually. I'm so sorry, my friend, but I had to stop the video. I was looking at my statistics on YouTube, and guess what? Most of my viewers are not subscribers. How the hell is that possible? Please consider to do it if you are one of those. That said, we are not done. Another thing, if you can follow me on social media, links below. That would mean the world to me. You make my day, as you are aware. There is also a Patreon link below, and you may find some country music reactions. Take a look. You can join for free, actually. That said, let's continue with this.
With a skunk, but it wasn't with the mammal itself, but rather with its zesty and intoxicating aroma. How I miss the outdoors.
See?
Somebody needs to make a skunk-based perfume. That would be.
No,
we
no.
checked. They have in fact done that, which is
Really?
pretty bizarre. Because for my British viewers, I was joking about.
I mean, just don't take a shower for a couple of weeks and you have that perfume.
A moment ago. It's one of the most pungent and nasally raucous smells you'll ever experience, and you'll know it when you smell it. At first I had to ask though, because I started to think that Indiana just naturally smelled like arse. And it wouldn't have just been Indiana. I mean, striped skunks are found more or less in the entire United States.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Damn. Oh, a bit of Mexico also. And Canada. Okay. Very common animal.
Yeah.
My friends, okay. From the list, tell us which animals did you ever saw?
Yes.
Because I'm curious. Maybe there is people that saw all of them. I mean, when I see not in a zoo, that does not count. But in your daily life, you know what I mean? Because some people may deal with all of those.
And some people keep them as pets. And what I want to know right now is, how's quarantine
A skunk.
Oh no.
Oh, that's great.
It's not a
been
good
working out
idea.
for you? I mean, do you let them in the house? Do they let rip in the kitchen? I've heard that odor is only emitted when they feel threatened. So I suppose presumably since they're a pet, that's not very often. Although if my cat's anything to go by, it'll be every time the garbage men turn up, and then it's just competing smells. Don't be fooled by the name. This
Virginia opossum. I don't know this animal.
beautiful creature, the Virginia opossum, can be found in many quarters of the United States. In fact, if you remember that video I did recently on trees, the distribution of opossums seems to be loosely connected to the distribution of forests. Now, as I discovered on Twitter this week, if you live in Minnesota or Wisconsin and you're looking at this map and thinking, why aren't my opossums represented? That's not fair. It's because this map is slightly out of date, but I do understand that some have ventured up into those two states. The bigger question about this map, though, is what the heck is going on the Washington-Oregon border? It looks like some sort of marsupial boundary dispute.
That's the Columbia River.
The Columbia River runs along that border. Why don't you find opossums along other riverways as well on this map? I'm not sure there's a lot of love out there for opossums, and it's easy to see why. They generally look quite silly.
It looks like a rat.
Hell no!
No.
What the hell is this? No.
Unlike these adorable bastards.
Oh.
So just
that one.
When we were in Texas, particularly specific in the hills, we saw a group of deer.
Yeah, so beautiful.
So beautiful! Wow.
Are you going to say what you did?
What I did?
You cried, Sarah.
Yeah.
to clarify, deer absolutely exist
But actually,
in the United Kingdom.
They look like Bambi, okay?
The thing is, I was not recording, so I cannot prove this.
So just to clarify, deer absolutely exist in the United Kingdom, and just like in the United States, you normally encounter them when you're hitting them with your car. But we don't have the same kind of deer, and when I lived in Indiana, I would see deer quite regularly, just sometimes just meandering through a wood and across a road. It's their own fault in many ways. And in Indiana and much of the east of the United States, and even some of the west, you're most likely to encounter what is known as a white-tailed deer. Why is it called that? Because it's a deer and it has a white tail.
Okay.
In all fairness to them and all deer around the world, they are absolutely adorable, or should that be adorable? Sorry about that. And our next entry is no exception.
Mule deer.
A
Wait,
mule deer.
do you think a mule and a deer cross and create the mule deer?
No, so sorry, you are watching a lot of Star Wars or something. No, what? This is sci-fi, sorry, no.
That's the other really prominent type of deer that you'll find in the United States, specifically out west. Now, I obviously live in the Midwest and I spend most of my time here, but I have encountered a mule deer. Not here, but in Salt Lake City. I did have to clarify with the internet this week that is what this is, but you can tell. In fact, there are a number of ways you can tell.
What the hell is this animal, actually?
Number one,
And by the way, this is a graveyard.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
tell. In fact, there are a number of ways you can tell. Number one, make sure it doesn't have a white tail. One of the subspecies of a mule deer is the black-tailed deer. But if you're not so inclined to look at its arse, then rearrange the letters and look at its ears. Arse is an anagram of ears. A mule deer has some absolutely enormous lugs, just like a mule. Or Prince Charles.
Okay.
The bald eagle. Now, you don't usually find America's national bird hovering over the skies of Chicago. And outside of seeing this one, it's...
Jeez.
So beautiful.
Yeah, but scary also. They are ruthless, this.
Oh, okay.
I saw a video, I believe it was a bald eagle. Mm-hmm. They kill goats.
Oh, no.
No, they mess with goats, send them out of a cliff, and then go there and eat them.
What?
No, my friend, maybe...
How big is this animal for doing that?
The bald eagle is quite big. I mean, but I believe when they mess with goats, it's baby goats, you know what I mean?
Ah, okay.
But still, they know to play with them, you know? It's not like they defeat them with pure power, but they are so intelligent that they send let's say the goats out of a cliff,
Yes.
and then they fly when they are dead and go and eat. Yeah, it's crazy. No, this animal is real. I actually think it represents America. It's ruthless, he's smart, it's powerful.
Indianapolis Zoo. I
It's the king of skies.
don't think I really encountered them
If we don't count the F-22 Raptor. That was a joke.
in the wild until that trip out west. It was amazing. I was in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and I was taking one of those boat tours of the big lake. It was beautiful, right? But I wasn't expecting much more than just a nice, relaxing boat ride with beautiful scenery. Until the tour guide just casually pointed at the trees and said, "Oh, yeah, there's 8 bald eagles." What? What? Actually, that's amazing. Show me, make them fly. They're not remote controlled. They don't work like that. And I think one of them did. It hovered down toward the water because they generally populate themselves around large waterways because they're keen on fishing. And they're an absolutely stunning animal. I mean, they look amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, look at those talons. But here's an interesting fact about them. They're not bald, right? The name actually comes from the fact that
Yeah, that's true.
when that name was given, the word bald just meant white-headed. And all I can think is, has anybody told the birds? I bet they're really self-conscious. Coyotes are found all across the United States to the extent that many...
Okay, they are everywhere.
Whoa.
For some reason, I thought coyote was more a southern thing.
Yeah,
I'm so wrong about this.
years ago, during this past February, one even showed up outside of our door in Chicago. Between these 2 narrow fences that we have outside, it had gotten itself stuck, which really didn't do anything for tired old coyote stereotypes perpetuated by Looney Tunes. Now, before I could get to it, it had actually freed itself, which is a shame because I just turned to my wife and said, "Oh, can we get one?" They're not
Are you
domestic
crazy?
animals, so don't get any
No.
bright ideas. They eat small rodents, they eat rabbits, and they attack chickens. So it's sort of like me when I was 9. Be careful of them, be wary. They don't typically attack humans, but it has been known to happen in the past. And I thought I should just mention that as a kind of warning to any British people or anybody coming to the United States that sort of encounters these and thinks they're just a general dog, because they are from the canine family. Maybe don't pet them. All that said, to bring this video entirely full circle, they also hunt and sometimes kill raccoons, which is sort of the real-life equivalent of the T-Rex eating the raptors in Jurassic Park. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below your favourite wild animal and whether you keep it as a pet. Throughout the last few weeks, I've been putting out the odd tidbit around these sorts of things on Twitter. And if you would like to keep up with all of my musings, you can do so at Lost in the Pond US. And I've noticed that since we passed 100,000 subscribers, right...
My friends, show him all the support. By the way, our social media is also below. That said, the animal here that not surprises me, but I find a bit more interesting. No, the one that I find more interesting, honestly, is the bald eagle, because he's a crazy animal. He's very intelligent. But that's the eagle I was aware. I like the raccoons.
Oh, I love the raccoons, yes.
Because they look like thieves, they have a mask. It's kind of crazy.
Yes. For me, it's crazy to think people live so close to coyotes.
To all of those? Coyotes, deer. Yeah, it's crazy. I agree with that. Deer is actually the animal that kills more humans in America.
Yeah.
Not because of the car, they crash basically into the cars. We also saw deer dead in the road in Texas. So, but yeah, Sarah, thank you so much for watching this with me. Say goodbye to our friends.
Bye, guys.
Bye, our friends.